I used to make homemade fireworks when I was 15, and I would call them bombs. And basically, I just took empty CO2 canister and I'd jam pack it full of black powder and then stick a fuse in it and light it, and it was the loudest firework you've ever heard in your life. And to me, it was the most exciting part of my life, and it was just the greatest thing ever. So one day I let one off, and I was with my cousin, and the whole city could hear, I'm sure. And then I go back inside, I'm in my room, and my dad storms in, and he goes, "Where's the bombs?" He's yelling at me, and I go, "I'm not telling." And he yells louder, "Where's the bombs?" And I say, "I'm not telling." Because this is the number one thing in my life, and he's not just gonna take this away from me just because it feels like he just wants to control me for no good reason. I can't conceive at the time that he just wants to keep me safe and prevent me from blowing my head off. So he grabs me by the arm and he twists it behind my back, and as fast as I can, I slip out and kind of jump across the room, and we're standing there arguing with each other and getting absolutely nowhere because he's just trying to force me to do what he wants, and I am just resisting, and in no world is it even a conceivable idea for me to submit, because if I submit, that means in my head that what I want doesn't matter. What I think doesn't matter. So it didn't matter if it was like an argument about bombs or about doing my homework. It all felt the exact same. And so years went by, and I was trying to become a better person. I was really going out of my way to do this, reading lots of self-help books and really making changes. And I talk about some of these changes on the other videos on my channel. But the one thing that was remaining a problem was these arguments with my dad. And until one day, I'm sitting on the toilet at 21 years old, and I'm reading this book, and it says, "Seek to first understand before being understood." And it explains it in this whole chapter. And I go, interesting. So I don't really think much of it because it's like just one of the many concepts that I'll read and then I'll try to implement throughout the week. But this time, right when I come out of the bathroom, I go in the living room and my parents are sitting there and they go, "Sit down, we need to talk." And I'm like, oh God, another lecture, another argument that goes the exact same way every time. And if I handle it wrong, it's gonna escalate just as big every single time. So they start to criticize me, and I realize this is an opportunity to use the thing that I just learned in that book. So instead of being defensive this time, I start to say exactly what the book said. So I repeat back to my dad exactly what he said to me. I say, okay, so you're saying like you're saying I don't respect you at all, and I don't listen to anything you say. And he's like, yes, yep. And he keeps criticizing me, and I say, and at this point I'm like, tears are coming down my face as I'm repeating back to him what he's saying, because it feels like what I think doesn't matter at all. Like my reality doesn't matter. And I know that's not true, but I'm trying my hardest to do this thing that I just learned. Somewhere around halfway through this conversation, where he's continuing to tell me what I need to change, I start to actually stop feeling negative and start to feel like actually understanding him. And I'm realizing that this is getting very easy. And I go, oh, okay, now that this is making sense. So by the end of the conversation, I go, okay, like, do I totally understand what you're saying? And he goes, yeah, no, you totally get it. And I go, okay. And then I say my point of view. And for the very first time in my entire life, my dad understands what I'm saying in an argument. And that's probably exactly what he thought about me too in this moment. So it actually resolves. for the first time. And what I learned is that I can fully understand somebody's position, and that doesn't mean that my position doesn't matter. It doesn't mean what I think doesn't matter. And it's actually a way more effective way of being to get what I want out of life rather than arguing and being defensive every time. So I went on to use this in every single conflict, and it worked almost every single time.